Yu-Gi-Oh's money problem.
So today we're going to be talking about the economics of Yu-Gi-Oh! So in case you haven't heard,
Economics. Wow. All right. I guess I should hold on. I should post a link in Twitch chat. You guys can go like and subscribe. Same thing we always do. Money problem. Economics. All right. It's on my forte, right? This is on my alley. See what you got. I'm an economics. Got an economics degree, and I buy and sell Yu-Gi-Oh. So let's see what he knows.
dying. It's always dying. And while the recent proclamation by community figureheads has all the same trappings as every other time we say that Yu-Gi-Oh is dying, the format sucks, the content creators are too woke now. It also has a new angle that I thought it would be at least a little bit interesting to explore.
That's funny because I don't have to deal with that, but like that's something that people complain to him about. That's so funny. Do people just spam MBT with like, "You're too woke, you suck"? I wonder if that's a legitimate like complaint that he has coming his way.
And that is an economic one. A lot of the problems in Yu-Gi-Oh currently have to do with the economic side of the game, be it purchasing cards.
I think this was true more like a few months ago. I don't think it's as bad now. Like all the fire cards are dirt, where they were like really bad in February. So I think that problem's alleviated itself at least significantly from where it once was. I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh does have periods of being more financially like reasonable and not, which is something that I wish wasn't so volatile. It is, so sure, but now we're not at a point. I think we're like in the middle, like where it's not like crazy affordable like Salad or Monarch level, but it's not expensive either, like talking about Necros or pre-fire.
Resell cards that you already own, or unfortunately collecting money through prizing. Against the late Kazuki Takahashi's wishes, the monetary side of things has kind of come to the forefront, and as now Yu-Gi-Oh finds itself in a really precarious position relative to a bunch of new card games like Lorcana.
Oh, so it's about pricing. Okay.
Cards that are super powerful and expensive are routinely reprinted at the earliest possible convenience, which is really, really good for getting access to cards.
And people still complain about it, but
but it's really, really bad if you're a vendor or a financial speculator. It's important to understand that these individuals are, however, unfortunately, a necessary part of the Yu-Gi-Oh infrastructure. Vendors and high-end collectors need to feel like it's worth it to sink money into the product, open product, and thereby make a significant amount of the commons, uncommons, and rares available to people on sites like TCG Plays. Now, the way that Konami has resolved this problem is actually pretty ingenious. Collectors and vendors can functionally play the market on high-end staples. Things like Starlight Masquerena, old Altis, specific prints of cards like Retro Pack. The scarcity of these cards...
They've been doing it worse lately. And other companies are doing it better than them now. Like, this could be improved on drastically still, but the inclusions of Starlight rares and stuff were absolutely a step up from before. But I think the QCR method is more flawed than the Starlight ones.
How absolutely cool they are means that they can go all in on these extremely expensive options and basically be assured that these products are only going to increase over time.
It's not been the case anymore, sadly. Yu-Gi-Oh markets for collectors has been pretty rough lately.
However, slowly. This gives vendors, high-end collectors...
On that topic, Dragon Master Magia has broken the mold on being like the difference here. Like, it reminds me of 10,000 Dragon level chase card, which I haven't had for a while, which I think is super lame they did because this is a really cool card. I imagine a lot of Blue Eyes players and casuals want, which kind of sucks that this is the card they made like this. Although, like, I also don't mind them finally trying to put more faith back into the secondary market because it's been kind of fumbling lately. I'm conflicted in how I feel about this. I understand there's merits to it. I wonder if there could have been a better option because I don't like how restricted this is. I also wonder if now, due to animosity, Konami will just reprint it later, but who knows. How's it doing price-wise now? Completed sales at 750. Yeah, this shit's going up. I considered buying them when they were a bit lower as an investment, but I don't know if Konami sees this, they'll freak out and reprint it. That kind of scares me, and I'm not too liquid right now, so I didn't want to just take risks. Would have panned out, but what are you gonna do? Alternate Rain Rose, they should be doing it exactly. Alternate Rain Rose are fantastic options, and those are still worth a good bit of money, I'm pretty sure. Not crazy high. They don't need to be crazy high. Like, and this will probably appreciate well, assuming they don't reprint this card in different rarity, which I don't think they have to. I think this card, if it only stays in this rarity, in this artwork at least, that'd be fantastic. They don't need to do more, and this will probably sell out a bit, and stuff will go up. This will probably go up as well. It's come Starlight though, at the very least though. But it does feel like 10,000 Dragon. And I wonder actually how's Terminal Revenge doing in price of box? Because the core set itself isn't doing great. Isn't great. Like, there's not much you really want. But because there's a chase like 10,000 Dragon, maybe the sealed product is doing better. We see here the trend is overall down. You see it's kind of plateauing a bit here. Maybe it starts inflecting upwards again. Because I think if people are looking for that chase, it will become more desirable, like 10,000 Dragon was. There's still a fair bit here on the market, I guess, before it starts actually increasing to a better value. Time will tell, I guess.
and
Anyways.
even OTSs that stock singles a reason to invest in the card game. These cards look great as the front page of a binder or behind glass next to duel lands. They're enticing, they're sexy, and I do appreciate that people with a lot of money have the ability to sink said money into what they consider an investment in a game that they love. Now, when we look at Magic, we recognize the disastrous implication of keeping these individuals around. If they decide they no longer want to play in their world of exclusives, they may decide to invest instead in cards that are absolutely critical to play the game at all. This is how you get duels to the price that they are. This is how you get Martin Shkreli posting on MTG Finance trying to crash the legacy market by buying as many duels as he can before his prison sentence. That's why a bunch of recent Konami decisions are...
That is crazy. I didn't know about that.
Recently, they've announced they're reprinting Light of Destruction. Why? Light of Destruction's a weird set to select for a reprint. There's not too much in there that people actually want. Oh god, the Arcana Forces. I guess like Substitute's in it, but it's also in the Battles of Legend set, so who cares? High-end collectors are mostly just scrambling for first ed editions of these individual cards, but printing any number of secret rares like Charge of the Light Brigade is going to make them sweat a little bit.
It's just not even in that set.
Aren't differentiated between
That's why did you choose Charge Light Brigade? It's just not even in that set. Anyways.
reprint set and the original by a first ed stamp like Retro Pack, which Konami is reprinting for some reason. A bunch of people have talked about this already, but it makes no sense that this set that is only really well known because of its scarcity is getting a reprint at a time when every single card in it is widely available at like a dozen rarities to everyone.
Yeah, that shit's very dumb, and I'm not happy about that. I don't have any stakes in it. I don't really have cards to lose value on, but it gives me lack of faith in Konami's discretion for collectors, right? Because the secondary market does matter. And if it doesn't, it does affect the supply chain, and as a result, like, it may make things harder in the future for Yu-Gi-Oh! For actual keeping them meta expensive wise.
Konami is displaying to you the only way you are going to be able to sufficiently invest in this game and sell singles is by orchestrating ridiculous buyouts on cards that people actually need, like SP Little Knight and Diabell Star, and at worst, you're just going to stop investing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever. But the economic weirdness doesn't just stop with vendors, it also extends to competitors. One of the things I think sets Yu-Gi-Oh! Apart from other card games is the ceiling on its talent. The best Yu-Gi-Oh! Players in the world are so unbelievably good at Yu-Gi-Oh! It is staggering. And yet, in recent months, people have noticed top names kind of falling off the map entirely, not even showing up to tournaments. That's because being good at Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't actually do anything for you. I mean, look at how Magic the Gathering treats its pros. You know intimate details about every person on the Pro Tour. But in Yu-Gi-Oh! You've got like the casters going, Dinka Bui, isn't he the pearly guy? No, that's Dinka Pham. Ah, well. No care is put into
That's hilarious. They actually do that on stream. That'd be funny.
In terms of prizing, if you win, you're getting what? A Nintendo Switch and a copy of Psycho Battle Royale. Maybe a couple of months later, they're going to mail you a trophy that has a vanilla card.
Yeah, the only event you really get paid for Yu-Gi-Oh's Worlds. And you have to go top 4. It's rough.
The lifeblood of Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't the misprint princes of the world. It isn't the Christian Uranus of the world. It's the individuals playing the worst Blue Eyes White Dragon profile you've ever seen, copied card for card from a 2018 Teen Samurai X1 video. Decks right now cost like $700 or $800.
It's not as bad right now. This argument was more valid before. Let's check on the prices in the fire cards, because this is the most competitive deck. Let's check on the fire on the price trends here. Bonfire price $40. Look at the 6-month trend. Yep, it's a good wanted. And also, this has definitely existed before COVID. This is just not true. He may have just not been as aware. Nice trend. Over the year, you can see it goes up and then it collapses. But yep, it's just very manageable right now. Poplar. Not poop. Poplar. I picked the wrong card. Poplarino. Here we go. 6-month trend. It just collapses. Princess. I think the only one that's held is SP. Actually, I haven't kept up with SP's pricing. I did not realize this card went up. I guess this one didn't. I mean, obviously collapsed from the initial broken wave. But it's reheld its price. Raging Phoenix as well. Did Raging Phoenix go back up, or did it also collapse? It collapsed a bit. This one's more volatile. This one's weird. This is low circulation because it's in a garbage set, so it's more scarcity and it's way easier to control the market on this with buyouts. I think is a problem for that card in specific. That's an entirely other Konami issue, but Little Knight, it's dropped. It's dropped significantly. Yeah, like it's cooling down. I mean, this is what the fuck. Okay, Jesus, how many foreign listings are there? By foreign, I mean not legal. 96. I mean, okay, this is still expensive, but it's not nearly as bad as it was, say, 3 months ago or 6 months ago, right? Like these were worse. I mean, okay, it's not that much better, but it is better. It is better. Yubel pricing might be close. Did Throne Room really go up that much? But it's just throne room and thing, right? Like it's not as crazy. Wrong card, whatever. I'm not gonna keep looking.
Dollars if you want to be consistently competitive. There are some exceptions, of course, but by and large, that's like the going rate. That prices a lot of people out. One of the major selling points of the game, the fact that the aggressive reprint policy meant that you were usually able to afford cards, isn't a reality anymore. So what's the common thread that connects all of these problems together? Well, it's decisions being made on the part of Konami. Konami made the decision to reprint a bunch of sets that devalue the binders of the individuals responsible for putting a secondary market together. Konami made the decision to reward competitors of the most prestigious Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments on the planet with rubber mats, and Konami is making the decision to expand reprint sets dramatically to the point where there's no guarantee that any individual reprint set is going to actually include all the cards that you want. I mean, look at how a set like Rarity Collection 2 was pieced into functionally 3 different sets. Itself, the Legends set, and the Tins way down the line, which will have cards like Trident Dragion we all sort of expected would be found in the same place as the other things we needed.
I think that was just Konami's lack of foresight. But yeah, a whole other issue. And entirely.
As vendors, high-end collectors, and OTSs decide it's time to start piecing out of Yu-Gi-Oh! Entirely, as our top talent leaves in exodus for Lorcana, and as eager players who want to try playing the greatest game on the planet find themselves priced out of anything other than a budget strategy you purchased pre-built off eBay, the community suffers. Are we dying? No. But we're certainly sick. See you next time.
We're certainly sick. We're all sick. We are insane in the membrane, right? For some of the choices we make to still be sticking around. Yeah, I mean, I don't plan on leaving Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's definitely like a bit weird. The pricing is much better in Lorcana and One Piece. The thing is, how do we know those are going to be stable pricing? Like, they may not. I'm sure there'll be an equalization, and those will stop being as crazy comparative to Yu-Gi-Oh, but Yu-Gi-Oh can do better and should do better. That being said, like, even if I play this games a bit on the side, Yu-Gi-Oh will still be my main girl. Those will just be side chicks. So I will be sticking with Yugs. The chase cards have gone up from sets 2 for Lorcana. That's because of an influx in players. That's just immediate. These games are young, right? Like, they're not established and they haven't built up a solid foundation yet. So I wouldn't be rushing to make some bold statements about them. Things could still change very rapidly. So don't just assume that either of those are safe. I think I'm already noticing, like, One Piece, like, the prize cards aren't as high as people would scream about them being. Pokemon's better. Pokemon's prize is better too. Yeah, Pokemon's is better. Pokemon is the game I'd be more inclined to try because I feel like the brain is just massive. I've loved Pokemon as a kid. The card game's never been like my favorite thing, but it's all right. I don't mind the card game. It's not bad. I think they have way more care about the things they do a lot of the time. Like, Pokemon Worlds was so cool in Japan. And the pricing is better. It's cash pricing as well, which means it's not volatile or it's not like dependent on a secondary market, because that's the problem with Lorcana and One Piece. The pricing is better. And while it's better that, like, you have characters with, like, as prize cards and alt arts, and you get more of them, and they're cards that, like, have significance behind them, like a Let It Go or a Trafalgar Law, like things that people want for sentimental value or because of who the character is, where Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't have that. We have stupid ass vanilla. That is good. Ultimately, however, it still is reliant on a secondary market. And if that secondary market collapses, it gets overwhelmed, any of those things, then you will see a drop in value, right? A lot more akin to Yu-Gi-Oh's level, and that's where there's a bit of a scare. It's not safe. You could swing in way more in the favor of making more money than Pokemon, but it's definitely more risky. It's not like it's going to be a huge thing for the future. Those OP cards really go for 200k. That's just Worlds, really. But yeah, I think it did. But that's also, like, the first World Championship, right? Which may hold more weight than afterwards. And I feel like the market's already kind of done a bit worse than what I thought a while ago. So we'll see. Dragon Ball does well too for how small it is. That also may have to deal with, like, Akira's passing. So people want some collector pieces for Dragon Ball, so that can contribute to the secondary market. Because we saw that to some degree with collector cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! When Kazuki Takahashi died, which feels kind of shitty to see that stuff being monetized, but that is the reality we live in.